Hi, Mark here at MKS Plymouth, and welcome to the latest of my videos. And this video is going to be about the maintenance of this, my Aquatropic 110 litre tank. This tank was set up in December 2023, it's now April 2024, so that is 4 months that it's been running, and it's been doing very well. So well that the plant growth in the tank has been exceptional, and it is time now, because I haven't done this before, is to actually take a serious look at those plants and take out dead leaves, dead plants, don't think there are any, and trim everything down. The Vallisneria in this tank has gone really well. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and round the corner 7. I put 2 small Vallisneria at the front, and look how they've grown. So they are doing really well in this tank. But they do need, these larger ones at the front, need taking out, putting at the back. So I will do a slight bit of rescaping, but the priority is to actually clean up the plants themselves. As I said, dead leaves in particular. There's some algae on the leaves as well, so I'll be cleaning that off, and I'll be treating the tank once I've done this to try and prevent as much of it from coming back as possible. So I'll get started on this. Most of what I'll be doing would be boring. I will show you some, obviously, highlights, but the main part will be once I've removed the plants, which I will take over there on the tabletop. I will go through the cleaning process. I'll give you some highlights of that. Here is a closer look at the tank, and my 3 angelfish are interested because I'm close by. They probably think I'm going to feed them. So as I say, on the left at the front there are Vallisneria that are very large and need to be moved to the back. The botanicals that I put in there 4 months ago, I'm going to remove those, and I may or may not replace them. On the right hand side sword plants, echinodores. These are the ones that seem to have quite a few dead leaves on, and there is some soil underneath the sand providing nutrients. It's aqua soil, and it may be that the Amazon swords are using most of it up. Well, the Vallisneria certainly is, so I will add some root tabs as well, and also some liquid fertilizer to try and help improve the health of the Amazon swords and the echinodoris, which are on the left hand side, and no doubt the Vallisneria will benefit as well. Hi, and I'm going to be dealing with the plants from my Aquatropic 110 litre tank. I've taken out an awful lot of plants. By the way, select the t-shirt. This is now going to be my working t-shirt whenever I'm dealing with the tanks. Doesn't matter if it gets splashed with water, because this was second hand in a fish shop. And it says, OCFD, Obsessive Compulsive Fishing Disorder. Well, I think a lot of tropical fish keepers can agree that it does become a bit of an obsession at times. Anyway, on with the plants. So, Vallisneria, there's an awful lot more than I thought there would be in there. This one is a stem, a plant that is roughly the right height just to sit in the tank without curling over and going along the surface of the water. There are lots more Vallis in this bucket. I'm now going to go ahead and take them out, clean them up, trim them, ready to go back in the tank. Right, that is all the valves dealt with. You can see this huge pile here, very tall ones, a few new shoots down there that I've saved to add as well. Big pile of cuttings, stuff that I've taken off. So next thing to do is make sure that doesn't dry out, and then I'll move on to the echinodoras, the Amazon sword plants. Hi, day 2 of sorting out the management of the plants in my Aquatropic 110L tank. As you can see, echinodoras and Amazon swords, Vallisneria, it's all been dead leaves have been taken off, trimmed down, ready for replanting within the tank. The one thing I've noticed, and I'll show you in a moment, is as they're bundled up at the moment, before I replant them, it's actually opened up the whole tank and I can see the fish a lot better than I could before. I think my original aquascape, the 3 pieces of wood across the tank with the Vallisneria all the way across the back, echinodoras in both corners, there were too many plants, I think. So what I'm going to try and do is rescape it with fewer plants to give more open space so that I can show these beautiful fish in a better light. Excuse the pun. The other thing I found is I have 10 nerite snails in there. They are happy because they've actually been laying eggs. Now, although those eggs won't hatch because in freshwater aquaria they just won't, it's not the right conditions, there are a lot of eggs, and I have found them all over my pieces of wood, hundreds of them, and obviously there's a few on the front glass as well. So I'm actually going to take those nerite snails out. I might leave a couple, but certainly not have 10 because they're far too happy and there's far too many little white dots which are their eggs. Let me show you a close-up of the tank so you can see what I mean about seeing the fish. As you can see here, all this clear space allows far more light to give a clearer view of the fish themselves. And of course, just as I begin to film, the angelfish decide to go to the other side of the tank, out of view. But here they come, one blue angel and one koi angel. Beautiful fish. So, I'm going to try and recreate this openness at the front for the fish to swim about in. If you take a look on the right there, red phantom tetra and lemon tetra, and they too appear to be happier with a slightly more open scape than what I had before. Right, onto the planting itself. I'll do a time lapse for this because it would be very boring just watching me planting over the next hour or two, however long it takes. Here is the final rescaping of my Aquatropic 110L tank. I will give you a close-up in a moment, and what I've done is all the Vallisneria is along the back, Echinodorus to the left and right, and I've left a more open space in front. This gives a much clearer view for the fish, and hopefully the replanted plants won't die away, melt away, because they're from this tank originally. It's the same water, the same temperature, so there should be less of a melt off, if any, especially from the vallis, which can be temperamental when you move it about, move it into a different tank, slightly different water. But this should be fine. I'll give you an update on this in a short while, a few days, maybe a week. But in the meantime, I'll give you a close-up view so you can see what my tank looks like now. If you like my video, please hit the thumbs up and maybe subscribe to follow my other videos as well.